Hello, everybody. This is Joel Medina, and this is the weekly outlook. I'm not going to be able to stream this week because I'm traveling, but still going to do this weekly outlooks if possible. I think until the 19th of April 2022. Might not be able to stream. But, anyways, let's go at this. We're going to have let's see, a weekly outlook of GBPJPY and gold. Actually, let's start at gold, and we can see on the monthly chart that we are still quite bullish. Not only previous month was bullish, even though we had a massive wick up that kind of sort of looked like a rejection, but more like an intention wick. But we really have to see because the weekly has been a little bit consolidating the last 3 weeks, especially. But more than that, if we look at the price reaction, it's more like grabbing liquidity from the same places we reacted before, even though during those days gold actually fell. So so far, weekly is consolidating. There's no clear intention on the weekly based on the previous three candles, but the daily is a little bit clearer or better, let's say. So the daily structure actually broke finally above this 1938 40 zone and closed above it. And so this is a clean break and closure. So for the intraday setups, this is actually probabilities, or let's say that the current price action favors buys. Okay, this is bullish. Bullish are in favor right now, or we should be favoring bullish. Same thing. If I reveal the drawings, we can see that we are rejecting the zone at 1948, 1950, and now we have been creating like a little bit of a correction. So maybe down to 1938, if we see any support being formed from here, should be a nice setup to continue going up. On the daily, clearly bullish right now at this very moment, but also the 4 hour is clearly bullish too. So that's good for buys. So the preference for gold should be grabbing buys and not necessarily like I would not advise anybody learning to counter trend this. There's no necessity for that, uh, and stick to the bullish bias that we still have, and we should be we should have more probabilities to win than to lose. Now, if we see another for whatever reason, I don't know, this week or during this week or next week, for whatever reason, if we see a break below 1930 and a closure below 1930, then that would be a little bit, at least in the daily, that would be not necessarily dangerous, but just be careful, right? Because as we can see on the daily structure, we could actually come all the way down to 1930, even below 1930, and still remain bullish based on the structure. Because 1915, 1917 is the actual strong support level from where if we break below, there's that's when the game changes to bearish like hardcore. So far bullish bias, and until otherwise we don't see this flipping, the structure right now is pointing towards buys, and that's it. We shouldn't be pressing sales for whatever reason unless you're really really good at grabbing reversals or counter trends. But I would actually not suggest that for people learning, right? uh, GBPJPY is quite bullish, has been for I don't know how many weeks now. Look, this is only just going up and up and up. So still bullish since, what is this? The beginning of March. Now the interesting thing about this is it actually consolidated a lot in the 4 hour. Like the whole last week was like stuck, got stuck here, And this today, it just started like this. It grabbed liquidity again at 161.650 and just straight shoot up and just broke above 162.270, which was a really strong resistance level. And it tapped straight into 162.700 zone. If we look left, same zone where we had a wick. Now, GBPJPY is bullish, right? There's no question about it. All pretty much all the time frames right now are bullish. Nothing is screaming sells. Now, there's just one little observation, right? There is a chance. It doesn't mean that anybody should be trying to grab sales, but there is a chance that we actually visit 161.450 or even below that, all the way down to here. Um, Technically, I'm talking just technically speaking, based on the price behavior of the zones, not necessarily the structure. Okay. Um, don't don't ask me why I'm just mentioning it. Okay. I can actually tell you why, right? Because look, this is when you look the price behavior from the past, we tapped from here from 161.250 all the way up to 162.700 and came back again to the same 161.230 actually, or 40, sorry, 40, and kind of came all the way back again to like 162 point almost 700 again when we were coming down. So just for that, just keep that in mind. Just that GJ could be a little bit volatile, but I don't know. I mean, it would have to be some sort of strong news event or something. But right now, nothing's screaming sales or saying sales. Like there's no sales here presented. Technically, um, if we want to be smart, we should stick to just buys, just no pressing sales, unless you want a counter trend and you know how to counter trend, like I said with gold too, and or unless you really know how to grab reversals. But right now, there's nothing screaming sales anywhere here, right? Technically, buys should be buy setups should be the preference for anybody trying to intraday. But I just wanted to point that out that from here to here, there's a probability that for I don't know what reason would have to happen for that fundamentally, but there's a potential zone here of reaction. But we actually consolidated in between 162.270 and 161.650 pretty much the whole week, previous week. So let's say how we can grab a nice buy entry. I see a really nice money zone here or high velocity area here above 162.700, really nice and clean. If we go to the 1 hour, we look left, it's really clean, like 65 or 70 pips here all the way up to here. Yeah, 75 pips, but all the way up to here is like 60, which is the previous zone. I think I took that 4 hour level like from way back, but this is the level. So pretty much 70, let's say 70 pips, clean 70 pips above 162.700. So a form or a break above this in a formation of support from here should prompt price to move up quite nicely. So buys above that zone should have a really nice probability, right? And even from here, even from 162.300 zone, should be a good um, opportunity to grab buys just based on the structure. Because even the 1 hour is bullish right now, the 4 hour is obviously bullish right now, and even the daily is bullish. So everybody's bullish, meaning that the moment we see a good support form against a key level like this one, should be uh, a really nice opportunity for a uh, buy opportunity with high probabilities of winning. So I hope you like this weekly outlook. Um, the setup, I'm like I always try to like look for the change of bias actually before I finish this. My bias would change for sales if when we look at the structure, if we see anything closing below 161.650, is obviously a strong change of bias to sales because this became a really strong support last week. So I really hope you like this weekly outlook. And if you liked this, remember to like and subscribe. And that's it. Yeah, this is Joel Medina. Have a great beginning of the week, and I'll see you next time.